What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop. It's time again for this week's project. For this week, I actually picked something out of a little stash that I had gotten actually for smoking meat. So we're going to be doing some work on a cherry. This piece was way too interesting to burn up, but I certainly will be saving the chips. Looks like we're going to have some pretty interesting character in here. I like the crotch. I'm gonna shoot for a larger size bowl. At least I'm gonna try. But other than that, I don't entirely know what I want to do with this just yet. I think we're just gonna let it work itself out. So let's get to work. Oh, that's looking a little rough. Well, won't know until we get inside there. Alright, so our corners are a little bit too big. I'm gonna see if I can get this circleized on the bandsaw, although I've been having a lot of problems with the bandsaw, but we're going to give it a shot. Alright, so like I said, this thing's been giving me a lot of problems. Hopefully I can at least just cut our corners off for us, so we can get this in the chuck. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. Alright, well that went much better than expected. I'm using this nasty little guy. Alright, let's see how unbalanced this is. Unfortunately, this guy is way more wet than I was anticipating. So, yeah, we got ourselves a blank. I might just throw this in the vacuum chamber to see how dry we can get it. Be ashamed to open this up much further, but unfortunately I think it's going to happen anyway. Really nice figuring in here. Yeah, she's wet. I don't know how well you can see that. Well, this will be a good test for vacuum curing, vacuum drying. See how it goes. Alright guys, so we're back to work on this cherry blank. I turned this blank out about a month ago. I had it stored outside for about 2 years, the piece. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself. It's been a while since I did the initial recording on this. But I had it stored outside for, I don't know, about 2 years. Figured it was going to be a whole heck of a lot drier than it was. When I was cutting this blank, it was slinging water at me. So yeah, as you saw, we ran it through the vacuum chamber under heat for about 3 days, and I was amazed how much water came out of this thing. I think it ended up being somewhere in the lines of like 3 cups. I wish I would have got that on video, but it was the first time I had tried any kind of serious vacuum drying curing ever. So, but in the future I will definitely record that stuff so you guys can see the amazing effects of vacuum drying. Since then it's just been out here air drying, and you can see we developed some of these cracks here. I'm gonna get back to work on this guy. I was originally thinking about casting this in resin, but just because of this really nice variability in this live edge here, I think this will make for a real nice live edge fruit bowl. My only question is what to do now with the bottom. I'd like to leave some of this live edge. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep it stable. I don't know how that's going to affect the hollowing on the inside, so just gonna kind of take it as it goes. But this is some really nice tight grain. I think we can get a real nice finish on this. So to treat the cracks, hold on one second. I went and I picked up this here brown CA from Star Bond. I also got some black. I like their kits. They actually send you a couple tips and some of those little fine guys. So I'm gonna give these guys a shot, see how I like their stuff. I might stick with this from now on. But I think for this piece I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna lay in some of this medium brown. It says it dries to an amber color. I think this will blend reasonably well. Not quite sure what we're gonna do with this bug hole, but we'll cross that bridge also when we get there. So yeah, I'm just gonna get these cracks filled a while, and then we'll get back to getting to our, you can see I got some flat spots here yet, so we still have to round this guy out, and we'll go from there. Oh yeah, don't mind my wife, she leaves me messages from time to time. Alright, so we got our CA glue here loaded up. Got one of these little teeny weeny tips on here. Just gonna start filling these cracks and see how much she takes up. Jeez, how much are you gonna swallow? Start dripping out the other side. That would be my luck. All right, so I got the majority of the cracks filled, these big guys. We can always do some touch up down the road. I also went ahead and filled this with some clear. This was some punky area, probably where a branch broke off, allowed for some water infiltration. So we're just gonna finish shaping this guy up. Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to, at the very least, leave a hint of some of this live edge on the bottom. Although I still want the bowl to be stable, obviously. But I really like this ridge line. It's almost like a hillside. So instead of casting this in resin, I just want to preserve this. I think it looks pretty cool. And the tightness of this grain, I think we're going to be able to get some good shine out of this. So let's get on with that. Oh yeah, also teeniest little bit of burl figuring down here. That's a neat little bonus. Hopefully we can keep some of that. But we're probably gonna lose to about here on the bottom, just so I can get a good mortise cut in there, get it secured properly, you know, all that happy stuff. All right, so yeah, shaping, let's do that. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up. I think that's going to be our general shape. Still have some wet CA flinging out at me, that's fun. Got some good penetration on it though. Cool. It's got some nice character. Just gotta fix up this top edge. Might have to dump some CA and some of the sapwood up top. Clean up that cut. It's a little punky towards the top. All right, let that set up. We'll make a cleanup pass. And we'll go from there. Get a mortise cut in the bottom. Hopefully when I start taking some weight out of this guy, we can balance it back out a little bit. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and run this at a lower speed just to try and take that shake, rattle, and roll out of her. It's kind of screwing me up and I'm bouncing all over the place, so just nice easy passes. Just gonna go ahead and clean this up. Already seeing some really nice shine. A lot of character, that's what I'm after. Love this stuff. All right, ever so gently. Alright, that's looking pretty decent. I think I'm just gonna go ahead, sand the rest in, see what's still choppy, where we get into these soft areas. We might have to reapply some CA, but this here feels pretty firm. I don't know, let's hit it with some 40 grit, do some shaping, get her all cleaned up, and see what she looks like from there. Alright, so it looks like we're... I don't know if that light's too bright or what. Alright, so it looks like we are sanded down past any little tear out spots. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in some of these extra gaps that we got left behind. And we'll just finish sanding this out. And get a mortise cut in. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, well, we are re-glued, so we will re-sand. Alright, so before we go too much further with the sanding, I'm going to get our mortise cut in and then more sanding around the back. Alright guys, well, here we are. We're sanded out to 500. I do want this to be a fruit bowl, so I'm going to be using this this General Finishes, which is a water-based clear urethane hybrid finish. It is non-toxic, food safe, so I think this would be a good application for use on here. Just gonna go ahead and get a bunch of coats on here. I'll show you one. I don't want to put you through the whole process, just because I'm probably gonna end up putting at least 4 or 5 thin coats on this, and then we'll pick up when we're doing the polish. Alright, just gonna let that dry up and just keep rolling through some coats, and then we'll pick up when we start working on our polish. Alright guys, so I got, I think, 6 coats of this finish on here. Instead of polishing this out right away, I'm just gonna get this flipped around. We're gonna get started on hollowing, and then I'll just polish the whole thing out after we're done doing all the cutting. I think I'll have plenty of room to get to the back side here, but yeah, coming along pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm just gonna go ahead, get this guy turned around and do some more cutting.
Astronauts return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Alright, well, I've been seeing and noticing a lot of movement in this lathe head. I think it's time to actually get tearing into it and solve this problem. Alright guys, so, you know, I don't know if I'm going to leave that in the video or not, but you can see here, just been trying to get through this project. Just kind of hammering some shims in here on this lathe head, and I'm still getting a lot of movement in the head. I can't do it by hand, but when we start putting force on it, I'm getting a lot of movement there. It just caused me to throw the piece off the lathe. It's giving me, you know, unequal cuts from side to side, so I'm gonna go ahead, get this torn apart, get the lathe head off, see if there's something that I can do to remedy this here issue, or if there's parts that need to be replaced, or I don't know. But once I get into it, I'll have a better idea, and I guess we will just go from there. It's never fun to get something tossed off the lathe after you spend so much time on it. Ye friggin' ha! Alright guys, so just in closing to this video, first and foremost, I want to say no worries. Nothing was damaged in the incident at the end there, except for my morale. However, this happened leading up to my annual Father's Day week away in my natural habitat. So I'll be taking a week off and going out into the mountains to go play with the bears and deer and turkeys and whatever else we can find. I'll obviously be out there hunting for some nice pieces. We're gonna get through this one. I got the lathe apart, I got it fixed up, I found out what the problems were. She's just getting old, and the points of contact on the clamping system are getting a little worn out, but yeah, we'll work through it. You know, we'll do the old adapt and overcome routine, and I will be back. The completion of this might be a little bit late. Posting this Thursday night, leaving tomorrow. I will be back this coming Friday, and we'll just pick it up from there and keep going. So outside of that, I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you for keeping me going. I'm humbled by your comments, your input daily. I never really expected anything like the kind of love that you guys are giving me. So I just want to say thank you. If you like the stuff you see in these videos, subscribe. It seems like a lot of people are just catching stuff in their recommendeds. We got a bunch of stuff out there thus far, and I will keep it coming weekly. DukeHeritage.com if you want to check out the store. We got a Facebook, Instagram, all that happy social media stuff. I'm going to be taking a bunch of video over the vacation. I'm thinking about, we had a couple requests from you guys to set up a Patreon. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff you'll find in there. Me on the hunt and just looking for cool pieces, or just being myself out in the mountains, on the river, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling. I love you guys. See you next week.